Hey man, what's up?
What's up, Mike? How are you?
Man, I'm okay. Yeah, it's just these finals are getting hard. I mean, these finals are getting really hard. I mean, I've been coaching for the last couple weeks, and I got to tell you, man, it's taking a toll on me. I mean,
What do you mean it's taking a toll on you?
well, I mean, I got to coach against the Cavs, and I mean,
Yeah, but you're coaching the best team like ever assembled.
well, I mean, I don't got to say much at practice. Is the thing, and I don't really talk much during the game. And the other day, one of the players told me to sit down and shut up, and I did.
Who told you to sit down and shut up?
I don't want to talk about it.
okay.
But, I mean, I'm just saying this is hard. I mean, this coaching thing is hard. I don't know if I could do this anymore, man.
Mike, Steve does it all the time with a messed up back.
But, like, I mean, that's Steve. I'm not Steve. I'm not Steve Kerr.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
this,
you're Mike. You're not Steve.
This is just hard. This is
How
hard.
can you say it's hard? You got a team that pretty much coaches itself.
But, like, I mean,
You just kind of stand there and say, "Hey,
well, sometimes we're
your,
not
your
up by
shoes
30.
look nice."
Sometimes we're not up by 30 is
You
the
don't
problem.
have to be up by 30. Your team's gonna win the series. You already know that.
But I don't know, man. I'm just getting worried. Like, I don't want to lose another coaching job. I mean, I got fired when LeBron James was on my team. Like, that was I don't want to do I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this.
Aren't the Cavs still paying you?
Yeah, they're paying me a little bit. I mean, they're paying a lot of it actually. But I mean, this is just getting hard, man. I don't know if Mike Brown can continue being the coach of the Warriors.
Well, have you talked to Steve?
No,
Do you know if he's gonna come back or what?
I mean, I've been too scared to talk to Steve.
Why?
Because I'm afraid he'll get mad. He'll be like, "What are you talking about? It's not that hard to coach this team. They pretty much coach themselves. They're the best team in the world. You really just have to sit there and smile." And
Is that what
basically do
everyone's
nothing."
saying to you, Mike?
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying.
It's because it's the truth, Mike. You got an easy team to coach. Don't sit there and complain. I
You
got
know
my
what?
kids I got to work for. I got all that. You're just sitting there getting on planes
you
with
know what?
superstar athletes.
You know what? If you could work and be okay, I think I can do this. I think Mike Brown can be the coach of the Golden State Warriors.
You get 'em, Mike. What's up, guys? Cam Gwynn talking at you. I know it's been a little bit. We kind of had to take a break due to some equipment not having. Is that fair to say?
Well, equipment breaking.
Yeah, I guess we would say that. So that was James Paxton letting you know what was happening. This is Cam Gwynn again. I mean, you just heard from Mike Brown about Golden State having issues coaching them.
I mean, that must be like a very easy job, maybe the easiest job in sports.
I'd say that's the low pressure job.
Can you find me an easier job in sports history than coaching the Warriors when you're already in the playoffs?
The kids that grab the shirts off the ground when LeBron decides to toss them.
That's all. Okay, that's an easy job too.
Or the kids that get the tennis balls during the tennis matches. No, actually, that could be harder. You got to be quick.
Yeah,
You got to have quick hands, too.
I'm gonna say this is the easiest job. Like if Golden State wins this series, I mean Mike Brown.
You're still saying
amazing.
if, though?
Yes, I'm still saying if.
Okay.
I've told you, Cavs in 7. I think Cleveland will win the next game. Excuse me. And it'll be no problem. These first two games, I expected it. I told you they'd lose the first two.
Yeah.
I said that. I'm a man of my word. Cavs in 7. I still think it's going to be Cavs in 7. They're still working out the kinks. Golden State's they can only go down. They can't play at this tempo all series. Do you honestly think they could play at this tempo all series?
I think the tempo they're playing at is very high-octane tempo, yeah, and it's because they're at home, so that makes a lot of sense. But when you get to the Cavs' place, yeah, it's going to slow down, but it's still going to be way up there. I don't think they're going to get swept. I'm not saying the Cavs are going to get swept.
Well,
Everybody who's saying that is just bonanza.
It's pretty easy.
It's easy to say, yeah, but the Cavs got to get one game at home. There's no way they're not going to get a game at home, but it's looking like 5.
5?
I
Okay.
said 6 before, but just the way that KD and Steph were playing and the fact that they had 20-plus turnovers last game, too. They still won 113-91.
Well, it's really easy to win when you have 5 All-Stars on your team.
That's true. Well, one of them that was a vote-in, but,
I don't care. I don't. I hate watching this team. I respect them. They are all great players. I want to make that very clear, but I hate watching this team. They're too good. They are.
What do you mean?
They're too good.
That's like saying you hated watching like on recess the really really good kids play against the really just okay kids, and they're doing some sick cool moves and stuff like that. You didn't like to sit there and watch that?
Well, mostly because I was the kid on the other team.
Oh.
So that's why I didn't like
Okay.
that. I feel that's pretty fair to not like.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it wasn't your
Bringing
fault.
up old
I mean,
things. Okay. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying on that, though. The other thing that we want to talk about that I think we should get into right now is the NHL playoffs.
That's correct.
So we obviously have been in the Stanley Cup. We talked about it. Preds and Pens. It's a good Stanley Cup so far. We are 3 games in, and Nashville is down 1-2.
And
I'd say they're the darlings this year.
definitely.
Definitely
They
the
were the
darlings.
16 seed.
They were.
They weren't even supposed to be there.
I love them, though.
You love them, and they're the ones that everyone's pulling for. But honestly, Cam, they're not going to win.
No,
this
they're not
series.
going to win.
I want them to win, but Pittsburgh's going to win this series in 5 or 6.
Mhm.
Nashville will be lucky to win another game. And, I mean, Pittsburgh's not going to have a defensive collapse like they had in Game 3. That's the only reason Nashville won, is that Pittsburgh had absolutely no defense.
I mean, that's totally fair to say. The only thing that I've noticed so far is who do we usually see scoring?
On what team?
On Pittsburgh.
Crosby, Malkin, or Kessel?
Crosby doesn't have a goal so far.
Yeah.
He has 3 assists, though. It's pretty good. Malkin does have 2 goals, but Gunsel, 4. 4 goals.
I mean,
He's playing outrageous.
he's playing good.
He's playing really, really good. But Pecorine hasn't really been himself.
Well, I mean, he hasn't had to play the Penguins.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing that I've noticed is his save percentage is way down, obviously. It's .859. And in that first game, I didn't realize it. Barely got to double digits on shooting for the Pittsburgh. They only had 11 shots.
Yeah, he hasn't played to the expectations that people have put him on, but it's been pretty different to watch him this series.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But some people that I really love to watch for the Preds is PK Subban. It's my guy. I mean, it's your guy, too, obviously.
Yeah. PK's always been amazing.
One thing that I just totally blows my mind, he was with the Canadians, right? They just let him go for, like, no reason. He has no idea why he was let go from them to just sent to Nashville for
Pretty
Weber.
sure he's happy now, though.
Yeah, yeah. He's very, very happy, which is, I mean, when you're happy, you play better. It's fair to say. He's playing outstanding. So far in these playoffs, he hasn't really been how he has been. He has an assist, but that's about it. But, man, for the future to come for him,
I mean, this
he's
is
gonna
a
be
good
sweet.
sign for Nashville.
oh, it really
They
is.
probably will make the playoffs in years to come,
Yeah.
and they will have a chance.
Well, that's
at
what they've
Stanley
been doing the
Cups.
past few years. They've been getting to the playoffs, but they haven't been getting past, like, the second round.
Right.
That's where they took that big step this year, a big leap this year, getting to the Stanley Cup Finals. But yeah, another person that I would like to look at is Mike Fisher.
Ooh, that's my girlfriend's husband.
Oh,
Oh, you know I
What?
love Carrie. You know I love Carrie.
I didn't know you guys were dating.
Well, I mean,
I'm getting TMZ out here.
it's not official.
It's not
but
official.
God, I love Carrie Underwood.
You know she likes soccer players more than hockey players, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did
So
not.
her husband has 3 assists. He's playing pretty good. I'd say he's like the seasoned veteran kinda for this team.
Yeah,
He's kinda like
he's-
the old guy helping them out, making sure that
I mean, he's 37. He's a little bit older.
yeah,
for
he's
hockey.
up there. He's up there. But yeah, no, he's definitely a good veteran look for this team. If he stays another year, I think that'd be sweet.
I don't know why he'd want to leave though.
I don't know either. They
He's the captain.
Yeah, they got a good setup for him with some good young talent that just literally they're just learning and growing as each game goes on. So, I mean, that's what I got for Stanley Cup. There's not a whole lot to talk about. They do play tonight, Monday night at 8 o'clock tonight. It is in Nashville again.
Pittsburgh will win.
Pittsburgh will probably win, yep. I'm going to say Pittsburgh got the next 2.
I will say that as well. Pittsburgh wins the series. No surprise there.
No surprise there.
That's kind of why there's not a lot to talk about with hockey or the NHL is that Pittsburgh's really dominated everything. Like, even the game that they lost, they still did pretty good.
So why are we still talking about the NBA Finals then?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to talk about with the NBA Finals right now. And first off, that is that who do you blame for the 2-0 deficit for the Cavs?
Everyone on the bench.
The bench.
The bench.
Well,
It's got to be the bench.
It's funny you brought that
100%.
up because I would ran off some numbers, but I'm just going to say the bench has been terrible.
Yeah, the bench has been terrible. The
It's a
bench
lot
has been
easier to
outrageously
do that
terrible.
than to tell you the actual stats.
Yeah, no, dude, the only people who've been performing on the Cavs is Kyrie every once in a while. Kev had a pretty decent game, and then LeBron's been himself. I mean, he had a triple-double. Like, what more could he have done?
Not much.
No,
not
much
at all.
It's sad that it's not going to be as competitive as we would like, but, I mean, they'll get a win, but...
Like, I still think the Cavs have the opportunity to win
I
the
mean,
series.
that's fair. Yo, you can say that all you want, but, like, just based off the sample size that we have, I know the energy is going to be a little lower for Golden State, like I said, but it's outrageous.
It's terrible.
Cleveland doesn't know what to do on defense. In transition defense, they're absolutely awful. You've seen over and over and over J.R. Smith getting out of KD's way to go find somebody that's standing outside the three-point line. That's not all this team is now, though.
Yes, and, I mean, my big thing is that in Game 2, Kyrie Irving did not play a good game in the first half.
No, he didn't.
He did not play the game that he was supposed to play in the first half at all.
He really wasn't found.
No, he was not. And I think that comes down to if Kyrie can play the whole game, if LeBron can play the whole game, if JR can play the whole game, and if Kevin Love can play the whole game, they're going to have a good game.
JR hasn't played a whole game yet, though.
He hasn't played a whole game in 2 games, no.
He hasn't played a whole game in almost 2 series, I'd say. He didn't really play all
He hasn't
too well.
had to, yeah, and that comes down to it. I mean,
he wasn't really put in high-pressure situations to be able to push himself. Like, that's the issue that I could have seen faced with both these teams is they weren't really put in a position where it got scary, except for the one loss to the Celtics. But I don't think anybody on the Cavaliers lost any sleep about that.
No.
Because they knew they were going to come out the next game and just whop them. But
okay, so I just asked you about Cleveland.
yeah.
All right, who's the one person who you're going to give credit for on the Warriors?
KD.
KD, he's the one reason.
He's got to be. KD has just opened up so much for this Warriors team. The defense on any opposing side was always looking for the 3 to be shot, like I said. And LeBron even said it, we were fanning out. Cleveland, that's all they were doing. They were fanning out. But then you got KD, open lane. He's going to go for it. Even if it's not that open, he's still going to go for it.
Right.
He's a big man presence on a team that's supposed to be small. But he still has the guard-like abilities. He shined.
I mean, there's no simple way to beat this team.
No.
There isn't. It's been crazy to watch, but they've made it to where they have no competition. Let's say I'm completely wrong, and you're wrong at this point, and they get swept. LeBron looks worse than any other superstar in the game history. He got swept in the final.
Yeah, but with the numbers he's putting up, it's not his fault, though.
That still doesn't matter. He got swept in the finals.
But it's the same thing as like Westbrook, though. Westbrook didn't have anybody on his team, and he still averaged a triple-double for the whole season.
Anywhere close.
So if you had, I know that's what I'm
people.
saying though. It's the same. It's a similar feel right now because nobody on his team is really pulling their weight like they should have been. Kyrie's not doing what he did last year. Kev had, he had a good game. Game 1, he didn't have that great of a game though.
He had 21 rebounds.
That's all he did though.
What?
Where were his points? Why couldn't he score?
21 rebounds and 15
Why couldn't he score?
points.
Why couldn't he score more?
Okay.
I expect more out of Kevin for scoring.
That's fine.
Than just 15.
He's averaging over 20 points a game right now in the finals.
Okay. I need more from Kevin in the first game than just the rebounds. The rebounds are fantastic. Yes, I love that. And Tristan Thompson, too. Where's he at?
He has been nowhere.
Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere.
He might as well have not brought his shoes to the court.
It's unbelievable watching this series how they have made one team look absolutely obsolete. I've never seen a team look obsolete in a championship game.
It's outrageous.
It's
crazy.
And is this really what's good for basketball? Is this really what's good for sports?
I mean,
the
I don't know.
no.
If you like dynasties, then yeah.
The answer is no. Dynasties had to compete. Dynasties had to try their hardest and be the best years to come. Do you really think they're trying their hardest right now?
No, I actually, if you watch the game, when it starts to get close, like within 5 points.
Steph Curry was asleep on the sidelines yesterday.
Have you noticed that, though?
They don't.
They lollygag around, and then when it gets a little closer, like, oh, okay. Sit down.
I'm honestly
start
asking
playing.
you, what % do you think they're at right now
What do you mean?
at playing ability?
Like, just overall for
They're
a full
not at
game?
100.
I'd say they're at like 75 for a full game.
I was gonna say 90.
Okay, 90 I could see, but based off just last game, they didn't try. They didn't have to.
This team has done something where it makes sports fans really not like, and that is to just have 29 other teams not matter.
It's just great.
Why do we watch basketball? Why do we watch the regular season if this is what's going to happen? You're saying it's greatness. It's more like demolition. That's the difference.
Then why didn't anyone on those teams probably win the MVP? Because we're saying Westbrook's going to. James Harden's at the top running too. The top two people for the MVP aren't even on either of those two teams. So that's
well,
one
you can't win an MVP when you have 5 All-Stars on the team. What sense does that make?
What do you mean what sense does that make? You can still win an MVP.
They don't have to try their hardest.
Steph
That's what we
Draymond
just said.
And Clay on his team.
Yes, but not Kevin Durant.
Okay. Kevin Durant could have still won an MVP this year, in my opinion.
For what? You have Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson on your team.
For still balling out, even though you got Steph
but
Curry,
that doesn't
Klay
mean
Thompson,
anything.
and Draymond Green on your team.
Why
Draymond
would you
Green
give the
doesn't really
MVP to a
affect
team with all of those people?
It's that one individual player. It's not all those people.
The one individual player has a ton of superstars on his team.
Yeah.
Why are you giving him...
But he's still playing awesome. He still gets his buckets. He still gets assists.
Because he has a team of superstars on his team.
He's still getting the points, too. I understand where you're going with this. Yes, I still think Westbrook's going to get the MVP because he had nobody.
Where I'm going with this is a ridiculous comment.
How's it a
These
ridiculous
guys,
comment?
we just agreed they don't have to play their hardest in the finals against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
So
and KD is still a wrecking crew. Even though he doesn't have to play all the
minutes
he has,
his team.
He's putting up outrageous numbers on scoring.
That's fine.
What does his team have to do with scoring?
He's wide open because they have to guard other people.
Then where's the defense at? Defense needs to be better.
He's playing great defense. I wasn't.
No, I'm not talking about KD. I'm talking about the Cavs defense. KD's playing outstanding defense.
Who are you going to guard?
You got 5 people.
I'm going to give you a starting lineup of Kevin Love, LeBron James, Tristan Thompson, Kyrie Irving, J.R. Smith. Who are you guarding where?
How many people do the Cavs have on the court at any given time?
5.
How many people do the Golden State Warriors have at any given time?
5.
Match it up. Figure it out.
With what? How do you match up that
Man
team?
up.
Who are you manning up?
Man up.
Who are you putting on Durant?
Durant, LeBron.
Okay. Who are you putting on Steph?
Kyrie.
Excuse me. Who are you putting on Tristan Thompson? My bad.
Nobody needs to be on Tristan Thompson. He can't make a bucket for his life right now.
That's completely fair. Okay.
I get where you're going. Steph, you got Kyrie.
But you're acting like this is a lot easier to say, oh, MVP, Durant. He's playing awesome. He's the finals MVP, but out of the whole season? We're talking about them against Cleveland.
No,
do you see what they would do against the Brooklyn Nets, the Phoenix Suns? I mean, there would be no reason to have more than 3 guys on the court. Cameron, you cannot be serious with this MVP talk.
I already told you. I really think Westbrook's going to get it. I'm saying Kevin played MVP caliber basketball, though, in the regular season still, even with those guys on his team. Fair?
Now that you've clarified,
okay.
I can see where you're going. I don't 100% agree, but no, we're never going to agree on this because of his team.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't give anyone on the Golden State Warriors credit based on their team.
Okay.
You can't give anyone individually because of the team. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Let's say Game 3 happens.
Cool.
All right. Pick 2 players on the Golden State Warriors to not play. Any of them.
Anybody? Any of the starting 5 or what?
Any of the starting 5.
Clay and Draymond.
Okay. Are they still going to win? Potentially. They have a good chance to win.
You wouldn't have defense.
How about Durant and Curry?
Durant and Curry?
They still have a chance to win.
It's not as good of a chance.
Let me take LeBron James and Kyrie Irving off the Cleveland Cavaliers. How much is their head going to hurt after getting slammed into a brick wall?
I think they'd be a 10 seed in the East if you took LeBron.
They wouldn't even make the playoffs.
No.
That's the whole point of this, is that I'm not giving anyone on this team credit that they don't deserve. The team has everything. Yes, Durant's scoring a lot of points, but that's because you have to guard so many caliber people. I mean, we made a joke about this at the beginning of the show. Why is there a coach out there? Why? There should be no coach.
They They don't really have one.
This series would be way more interesting, in my opinion, if there was no coach and the Warriors could only play with 4 to 5 people, and Steph Curry had to be blindfolded for 1 quarter.
How much do you think that Ty Lue actually does, though?
Nothing.
Exactly.
None of these two coaches do anything. LeBron James is the president, owner, power forward, point guard, small forward, shooting guard, center, coach, assistant coach, trainer. That's what LeBron James is on the Cavaliers.
And water guy.
And water guy. Am I missing anything?
Nah, you hit all of them.
Okay.
No, I get it.
Okay.
I totally get it. And I was making jokes about it last night, watching the game. I was sitting there looking at it like, oh, geez, Steve Kerr's out there just to try to get another ring because he doesn't have one with Jordan. You know what he's going to say in that pep talk right there?
Did you mean LeBron James?
Huh?
You said Steve Kerr's trying to get another ring because he doesn't have one with Jordan.
Because he already got one with
Already
Jordan.
got one. Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
He already got one with Jordan, yes. Okay. Same page? You want me to start over? Or
No, you're good.
we're good? Okay. Pretty much what I said is he's going to say, in this lineup right here, he's going to be like, look, we're not making the ball as much as we usually do. So put the ball on the hoop like you usually do. All right, let's get out there. Let's go.
See,
Am I off?
No.
You think, yeah, that's probably how
perfect.
each pep talk went, right? It's probably what he said at halftime in the first game.
The Cavs have the potential to win this series, but they have to do a lot. Tell me 3 things that the Cavaliers have to do to have a chance to win the series.
Try to make sure that Golden State turns the ball over 40 times.
Turnovers.
Yeah, turnovers got to be a huge factor, obviously. If Golden State has less turnovers, you automatically lost. There's no chance.
Fair.
Kyrie needs to be playing better. We need another 82-point game combined with him and LeBron. And like I said, Kevin Love's playing decent.
That's 40 points each.
I know.
Okay.
Well, they did it last year.
They did. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's a lot.
I know. That's what you need, though.
Wouldn't it be easier to get 100 out of K. Love, LeBron, and Kyrie?
It would be easier.
Okay.
But I need Kyrie to step up.
That's fair.
If you get those 40 points, I'm sure K. Love will get the extra 20.
Okay.
Okay?
That's fine.
Tristan Thompson, you need to get those boards.
I mean, he's looked completely obsolete against this team.
Yeah.
He's definitely been the worst player of the series.
It's because of KD being added. That's what it is. Because now you got 2 big guys instead of just 1 big guy that you're fighting with.
I mean, they definitely upgraded with their small forward position.
Oh, small?
That's what his position is.
I know. So, you and I talked about it, and I kind of had a little bit of a hot take, and you don't buy it at all. Klay Thompson's contract with the Golden State Warriors ends in 2019.
Correct.
And there have been talks about the Pistons wanting to get rid of their 12th pick to get a superstar to try to win now. So some people were saying that Pistons are going to trade the pick away and get Klay. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking Klay's just going to be done when his contract's over, right?
So he's going to stay on the team for another 2 years?
Yes.
Okay.
When his contract's done, he'll go venture elsewhere because he's starting to look less and less happy, to be honest.
What do you mean he's starting to look less and less happy?
When he's
he
sitting
made
there
a quote
struggling,
yesterday that he's okay getting less and less buckets because he has 2 MVPs on the team.
I understand that. You say
so,
that.
Okay, you're
you
saying
say
that's
that
forced.
to reporters.
Are you saying that's forced?
You say that to reporters.
What do you mean? You
You're
say
gonna
whatever you
say
want
that.
to reporters.
If you're in the NBA Finals and you're low-key upset about something,
why would he be low-key? He's about to get, potentially, 2 championships. He has the most playoff games in Warriors history. He has the chance to become one of the best players in Warriors history.
Yeah.
Why would he be upset?
Some of the players don't want that. Some of the players want to have more ball control, want to have the ball a lot more than some people do. So maybe he could be one of those guys. Who knows? So
he scored 22 points last night.
What?
He scored 22 points
No, I
last
know.
night.
He had a good game. I'm not saying he's playing terrible by any means. I'm just saying maybe he wants more. I don't know. Either way, what I'm getting at, obviously you hate it, whatever.
No, I love
hypotheticals, okay?
I know you do.
They're fun.
You love just being not realistic about anything involving life.
This one could be realistic.
Okay.
2019.
So that's in 2 years.
Let's say,
hold on.
2 years.
This year, next year, and then the next, or do we have 2 more?
18-19 is his last season.
Okay, so, okay.
Summer 19, he can leave.
Okay. That's a terrible song name. Summer 16 sounds way better than Summer 19.
It flows off the tongue better.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so obviously I'm not saying this is going to happen. Just bear with me for a second, okay? We talked about what I'm about to get to, okay? And we also talked about what players could potentially have success at different places, right?
Oh, you're talking about the Golden State Warriors conversation.
Yes.
So let me say that real quick. Is that I told Cameron a couple days ago that with the exception of Kevin Durant, let's go with Steph, Clay, and Draymond.
Okay.
What other teams besides all three of them together on the same team would they be on where they would have success? And what I mean by success is conference finals. My vote is nowhere. And a lot of people think that's insanely crazy, and I understand that. But put Steph Curry on any other team. What is the best team for Steph Curry to be on besides the Warriors or Cavaliers?
I just shrugged my shoulders because I couldn't see Steph in a different uniform. That's just you know when you see those players, like when you think Kobe, could you have ever seen him in a different uniform while he's playing other than a Lakers jersey?
Okay, let's try this again.
I understand what you're saying.
Draymond Green to put on any other team. Well, I'm sorry, you don't like him wearing different colors, Sally.
No, that's not what it is.
That's what you just said.
I know, but could you ever see him being a different...
Yes, that's basketball. It's management.
Okay. Draymond Green, Houston Rockets. I think that would be a good fit. That would boost the Rockets a little bit. It would give them a little more defense.
3 questions.
The scoring wouldn't be affected as much as people might think. 3 questions?
Okay.
You really want to get to that?
What makes Draymond gonna leave? Okay.
Nothing would.
Perfect. Number 2, what makes you think Draymond could play with Harden?
Because he's a defensive player. He's not an offensive player, so it won't affect
How many times he can get the ball?
Draymond?
Yeah. You got to remember, this guy scores a good amount of points for the team. Yes, I understand. You have Harden, so you don't need to ever talk about scoring whatsoever. He had 12 points last night. I understand that's not massive.
That's about what he gets. Just fine.
He gets around 12?
He doesn't score as many points as you might think.
I would guess
he's more of a defensive guy.
He's more of a defensive guy,
which would help the Rockets. Obviously, they wouldn't be Warriors material, but that would help the Rockets because the Rockets don't have much defense.
But where would the Rockets go if Draymond was on the team?
They'd be a 2 seed.
Okay. Yeah, he averages 10.5, so you're right on that. I got that one wrong.
You're good. It's fine. We all have mistakes.
I expect... I mean, it would be the best fit if he's not on the Warriors.
Exactly. I thought that's
I
what you were
don't
getting
see any
at.
of these guys leaving and being successful. That's my point with this Klay Thompson conversation. Where is Klay going to go and be successful?
You ready?
Yes.
Because everybody is saying the same thing that you did until I told them the team.
Perfect.
Timberwolves.
Right.
Klay with Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
Zach LaVine.
Okay.
That's already good right there.
It's already not a playoff team.
Klay Thompson. Give it 2 years. We're looking 2 years.
You're in the East. You haven't made the playoffs, and you're expecting them to already beat LeBron James.
No, I'm not saying they're going to beat LeBron. I'm saying that'll be a good team, though. That would be a great team, having Klay with 3-point specialist shooting and good defense. Karl Anthony Towns in the post to be able to just drop it in, and he can shoot threes, too. The man's outrageous.
It's the second best team for Klay Thompson to go to besides the Warriors.
Okay. So you'd say that would be a good fit for Klay, though?
The first would be Oklahoma City.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about that, but that would be one place where you could just have a shooter and sit there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
The whole Russell Westbrook playing with guys things, complaining and debating and all that, whatever. The point is that you're trying to put a guy who is a great player.
Yes.
On a team with no playoffs, which you're not going to hear me complain about Big Cat. I mean, I've loved him since watching him at Kentucky.
Yeah, no, I know.
But the fact is that Minnesota hasn't made the playoffs.
They still got a young team, though.
So what's Klay going to bring?
The winning mentality.
What is the winning mentality going to bring?
What do you mean? What is it going to bring? Think about this for a second, okay? You're on a team that's just whatever. Yeah, we'll get there at some point. We'll do okay. They jog, they don't run, type of thing. You get that one player that's just all about winning, wants to win.
He's not that player.
And then, what do you mean he's not that player?
Where do you rank him on the Golden State best players?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Behind?
KD and Steph.
Okay. I would rank him 4. Behind Draymond.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. His best thing he does is shooting and defense.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's going to lead that team by running the offense?
Klay.
by not doing anything but shooting and defense.
He can dribble. He's got handles. He's got pretty good passing ability too. And
Not-
with
not
hands
to
like
lead
Karl
the
Anthony
team.
Towns, and well, the thing is with Golden State, you got that ball movement, right?
Okay.
That's something that could be brought to the Timberwolves.
Yes, you have an extremely hypothetical. What are the chances that you think this could happen?
You put it at an absolute 0. I would say I don't think he'd go to the T-Wolves, but I, for some reason, have a feeling he's gone when the contract's up. By that point, he would have gotten his rings.
Then
He
why
has enough
why
to say
wouldn't
he
you
was
think
a
of an
successful
actual
player.
spot to put him?
Because I think the Timberwolves would be a good fit for him.
Right.
That's the only thing I could say about it.
Yeah,
There's
but
not
I
really-
said Oklahoma City because you already have the MVP, precisely, and a team that's already in the playoffs.
Right.
Why would he go to a team that hasn't made the playoffs with the stars that you're naming?
You got to give it 2 years, though.
What is this?
You got to
give
look
it?
2 years in the future. This team's young.
How
Again, they're still learning how to play
What
together.
makes
It's like
you think that championship players are going to go to teams that aren't making the playoffs and give it time?
that's why. No, 2 years from now is when we will know what the
So you're
Timberwolves
saying
really are.
Right.
And I think the Timberwolves could be a contender in the East, maybe in the lower half of the playoff seeding.
the Timberwolves will not be higher than a 7 seed in the next 2 years.
Okay.
I guarantee that.
Okay. Still in playoffs, though. I'll take that.
If they're lucky.
Okay.
I don't think they're making the playoffs in the next 2 years.
Okay. That's fine. The thing that I see with the Timberwolves, and it's not as strong as what you would say, but like Philadelphia. Think about them. Bunch of young talent. In a few years, they're probably going to be a sick team.
See, here's the problem with that. And you keep having this argument with me, and I think you've already gotten this, but I've never came out and said it. Do you go for experience over talent when you're building a whole team?
You go for experience first. Yeah.
So what is all these 76ers players who, 1, haven't played all that great, 2, haven't won very much, or 3, haven't played at all?
When you get the talent that they have and you figure out how to gel it together, that's when you see it.
So where are you seeing the 76ers?
Where am I seeing them?
Yes.
Low playoff spot.
Okay, all these teams are going to be low playoff spots.
Yes.
So who are they going to beat? They have to beat other teams before they can verse LeBron James before LeBron James beats them.
I understand that.
We just went through a whole playoffs on the East. We're just going to focus on the East.
Right.
Where they lost one game based on a lucky hop in the rim.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So Boston lost all their games except for that one game. Washington lost all their games. What? These teams aren't going to be better than LeBron James if those are the best teams.
Okay.
I'm not.
No, I get where you're going with that. With the Timberwolves thing, my Timberwolves argument, yeah, that's 100% right.
But
If
I
Clay
do want
went
to
the
say that before
Timberwolves-
you go to something.
Yes.
Minnesota has the potential to be a really good team.
Yes.
I just have to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't necessarily see it.
No, that's fair.
I love Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked Ricky Rubio.
Mm-hmm.
I like Andrew Wiggins. I like Levine. They have good players.
Yeah. They have good young talent.
But Clay's not going to go to a team that's not in the playoffs.
Okay.
In my opinion.
All right.
You
That's
have if you think he's moving, you have to pick a playoff team in the East or West.
The Celtics would be the closest thing.
Then that's a better team for him to go to than Minnesota.
Okay. That would be he would see it better. Minnesota would just when you have Karl Anthony Towns, somebody like that, when you got somebody like Zach LaVine, you mentioned Andrew Wiggins, Ricky Rubio, you got that type of talent and you add a superstar into it like Klay Thompson, it has the potential to blow up.
All right, we have 2 more free agents to talk about before we close the show. We just talked about Klay. And next year there are 2 big ones that have the potential to shake up the league a little bit.
A little bit.
And you know I want to see this league be shaken up because as much as I love basketball, it sucks watching it right now. It sucks watching just complete flamethrower on all of the team. Okay? So they both play for the Clippers right now, and that's Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. We're looking for spots to put them. Now, are they both leaving? Are they both staying? Is one going? Is one leaving? What's going on here? Well, that's the first part of the free agents. I have another one after that. So, tell me your thoughts.
I don't know. I have no idea. What team really wants Blake Griffin?
That's hard.
Because I'm sure there are teams that do, but
you know what Blake Griffin is to me?
Injury prone and
No, as a comparison to a player.
No.
He's a better Dwight Howard.
A better Dwight Howard. That's a good way to look at it.
Okay, he's going to go to a team, and he's going to affect them maybe a little bit. Blake Griffin has the potential to be really good, but unfortunately he's injury-prone, and he's gotten worse.
A little
If you
bit.
look at his stats, he's getting worse.
He is.
Okay.
Well, I mean, when the injuries start mounting up like they have, you're not going to get better.
So Blake's going to go to a team that's not playoff worthy, in my opinion, if he goes anywhere.
Nets. They'll give him the most money, I bet.
Okay, so he's going to go to a team that
Gives
doesn't
him the
affect
most
the
money.
league. That doesn't affect the league.
No.
So we're going to go to Chris Paul right now.
Oh, that's a high one right there.
A lot of people are saying San Antonio,
Ooh.
but my thing is it won't work there.
Why?
Chris Paul could not make it in San Antonio because he's not running the show.
What do you mean?
Kawhi would run the show.
Okay, I get where you're going with that, but I think Chris Paul is enough of a team player to be able to figure out how to play with Kawhi. They'd be the top two of the team, obviously. And I'm sure
Correct.
Kawhi would be totally fine with taking some buckets away from
San
himself.
Antonio has to pick someone, which is why the next guy I was talking about, Kyle Lowry, I think Kyle Lowry is going to San Antonio.
That would be better.
That would be better than Chris Paul.
Yes.
Chris Paul needs to go somewhere else.
Chris Paul, although he is a great player and everything, he's an older guy. Kawhi's a younger guy. There's a difference in how they play, if that makes sense.
No, it's different.
All right. So, I don't know, dude. I don't see why he would want to leave the Clippers, though. I mean, I understand they're not a super high-caliber team and all that.
Well, it's not working anymore.
No, it's not.
It's not
But-
working. That's the basis of it.
Yeah.
You're coming down to the league where, tell me another sport where this happens. You don't matter unless you make the finals right now because you're versing the two best teams to have potentially ever played the game.
Soccer in Spain.
Of
Real
the
Madrid,
Big
Barcelona.
Four, of the big four sports.
Oh, what?
Baseball,
How can you discredit
basketball,
that, though?
hockey,
Oh, my God.
and
All right.
basketball.
Fine. No, there's not another team
Thank
like
you.
that.
I mean,
Barcelona and Real Madrid do it every year, though.
10 years ago, it was very much where you looked at 8 different teams who could win the championship. How many different teams could win the championship this year at the start of the year?
1.
1. That's sad. That's not interesting. That's not entertaining. How many different teams right now in Major League Baseball could win? If you're going to put a number on it. Just
10.
a guesstimate. 10.
10 different teams could.
10. So you got to go to teams where you're going to make a difference and you're going to end up being better.
But the only issue with that, and your argument's 100% right, yes, the only issue with it, though, is baseball people get hot out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, some team just barely squeaks by, and hell, they won a World Series. Hey, look at that. It happens all the time in baseball. You don't really see it in basketball because basketball is more of like a skill that they perfect every time. You don't really know where the ball is going to come off the bat sometimes, and certain factors of wind and all this
So we're
stuff.
talking about Chris Paul. It's what we were talking about before you started that.
What was wrong with me explaining why the argument doesn't really work the same?
So we're talking about Chris Paul.
All right.
I think besides San Antonio, the one team that would work perfectly for him is the Milwaukee Bucks.
But they already have a 7-foot point guard.
What do you mean they have a 7-foot point guard?
Antetokounmpo?
Antetokounmpo doesn't have to do things that he's not exactly amazing at. He's good at being a point guard. He's good at the handles, but he's amazing at being in the zone. You put Chris Paul on the team, he doesn't have to worry about being a point guard anymore. You also have Jabari Parker on the team.
Yeah. I forgot Parker was on the team. It's not bad.
They already made the playoffs, made it as a 6 seed. You just need to add more to it, and it'll become better. It's different from your Timberwolves thing because the Timberwolves haven't made the playoffs yet.
Right.
If you really want to think about it, the Timberwolves weren't better than the Indiana Pacers, the Miami Heat, the Detroit Pistons.
It's probably same level as the Pistons.
Statistically, they weren't better.
Right. That's why, you got to look at 2 years, though, the young players, and the same thing for Philadelphia.
All right, that's all the time we had for this episode.
No, stop.
No, we're going to end the
I
show
didn't-
if you're just going to keep going with the 2
I
years.
I didn't even stop you didn't even let me finish the Philadelphia thing first off.
Go ahead.
Okay? How many more years does LeBron have? Let's think about that for a second. How many more years? Give me how many more good years LeBron has.
12.
All right, he's not going to take this seriously.
No, okay,
Anyway, when
okay, fine. You want me to take it seriously? 10, and I'm being serious. He can play till he's 40. You said good. Are you saying MVP caliber? Or good?
I'm saying the caliber he's playing right now.
Right now?
Right now.
5 to 6.
Okay. How many more years do you think the Philadelphia 76ers will stick around with each other if they start winning in the next couple?
They're not going to start winning. Why do people love this 76ers team?
Because they got good young talent, and when you throw good young talent together, don't even blow up right now. Just listen. You throw good young talent together, and you will have great things in the future. The way the 76ers are doing it is they have the good young talent for right now that they're going to build and mold and try to find how they can fix this to be where they want to be. Obviously a championship team. When you got that type of talent and LeBron is on his way out in 4 or 5 years, I'd say, that's when you start winning. That's when the 76ers become relevant. That's when the Timberwolves start playing amazing basketball. Those young players are emerging right now. More years, even better. Wrong?
They've won nothing. And you keep doing the hypothetical maybe possibilities. The 76ers have arguably been the worst team in NBA history for the past 5 years.
On purpose.
Okay. So you're telling me these guys are just going to magically become amazing players?
I'm not saying magically. They're going to find it.
A better theory would be that they would magically, with superpowers, become better players than the theory you're giving me.
All
is
right.
that in 5 to 6 years, they're just going to play better?
They're going to be a better team. They're going to be a little more. What happened to Gordon Hayward? One of the guys you love. What happened to him? He was, I'm kind of okay. Boom. Awesome. 5 years in the league.
Gordon Hayward was
decent.
Hold on. Gordon Hayward was a decent person who's become good.
Yes.
They still got kicked out of the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, because you got the Golden State, though. Like,
I'm looking for teams to kick these guys out and go into conference finals. That's unfair of me, and I'll admit, to not be happy with playoff teams right now. But this is the only sport in the Big Four, with the exception of soccer and some European country,
Spain,
where you have win or you suck. Give me a conference finals team who can beat these teams or at least make it competitive.
Right now, nobody.
So I got to wait 5 to 6 years.
Yes.
For the 76ers, and I got to wait 2 years for your funny hypotheticals with the Minnesota Timberwolves who haven't even made the playoffs.
I love it. All right. Now we can end it.
Fine,
That's
end it.
You're done?
It's just become a crazy, stupid conversation we're having.
All right. I guess this stupid conversation will have to end. We will be back next week for some more fun with the NBA. Yay. See you guys.